Now at 6, an executive order issued by the Missouri governor concerning the drought, plus details of a two-car crash that left both drivers dead, and how area firefighters are coping with the heat.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Missouri Governor Mike Parson issues an executive order to help deal with the drought. This is KOAM News at 6. The governor says it's a response to increasingly dry conditions taking a toll on farmers and ranchers, especially in Missouri's southern counties. Among other things, the governor has directed the Departments of Natural Resources and Conservation to create a process for allowing farmers water access at state parks and conservation areas. And the DNR will assess state park areas that can be made available for haying.
With temperatures near 100 degrees the rest of this week, it is not surprising that we'd be talking about drought conditions. And unfortunately, we don't anticipate conditions improving soon.
Parson has directed all state agencies to examine how they might help communities by temporarily suspending administrative rules. Let's go to Doug Headon for a first look at this dry, hot weather.
Yeah, of course, it's been very hot and very dry across the region. In fact, you can check out our drought tracker. You can see south central, southwestern Missouri, northern parts of Oklahoma, and then into Arkansas. We are in a severe drought. We just haven't had any rain. We had all the rain during the spring months, and then it just shut off over the past 6 or 7 weeks. So super dry, especially I-44 and south, but the entire area is under somewhat of a drought. So we need rain. At least we're going to have some chances over the next week. Heat advisory will expire here in about an hour and a half or so. And we actually had a few scattered showers, a few scattered little tiny thunderstorms, northeastern Oklahoma and then down into Benton County, northwestern Arkansas. Unfortunately, most of us have stayed dry, very hot, right around 100 to 102 degrees. Will we get some relief? We'll check that out here in just a bit.
All right, we'll catch you then. Staying cool is vital this week, obviously. The Cherokee County Sheriff David Groves, he says the department is opening its lobby to those needing to cool off. Space is limited, but those looking for some cooler air are welcome to enjoy the air conditioning for a little bit. If you have to be out in the heat, do so safely. KOAM Shagun Bamadelli spoke with firefighters and doctors about trying to stay cool.
As the heat wave continues, Joplin firefighter says individuals need to protect themselves.
Hydrated, put yourself in a position where you're not going to be put into danger if you can, if at all possible. Be aware that during the summer months that metals, plastics, the inside of your car is extremely hot.
Although many people love their coffee, firefighter Amanda Stott says limit your caffeine.
Caffeine is a diuretic and it makes you more dehydrated.
As we continue in the heat of summer, doctors tell us to also stay inside the shade and be mindful of what we wear.
Typically, you should be wearing loose fitting clothing if you're going to be outside and sweating profusely. You want to remove yourself from the heat, so if you start developing a heat rash, you want to go inside and relax in the cold AC.
Dr. Pinjala also says wearing sunscreen is beneficial against the sun. In Joplin, Shagun Bamadelli, KOAM News.
Dr. Pinjala says heat rashes are usually not severe. Another easy and quick way to treat them, put cold towels or water on the rash area. A head-on crash in Newton County, Missouri today killed both drivers. It happened just after 7 this morning on East Highway 86, west of Newtonia. Investigators say a car driven by 36-year-old Diania Bittner of Neosho, Missouri crossed the center line and collided with a car driven by 66-year-old Jane Taylor of Stark City, Missouri. Bittner died at the scene. Taylor was flown to a hospital where she died. There were no other people in either car. Joplin Police Department is providing more information from March 8th's shooting that killed 2 officers. A press conference is scheduled for tomorrow at 2 p.m. Chief Sloan Rowland is also releasing a compilation of videos from that day. KOAM will have a crew there and live stream that press conference. You can watch it at 2 p.m. tomorrow on the KOAM News Now app, website, or KOAM Plus app. Missouri Governor Parson and the First Lady Teresa Parson will travel to Germany and the Netherlands next week to promote Missouri international trade. The governor's office said in a statement that Germany and the Netherlands are important trade partners for Missouri, and more than $902 million in Missouri goods exported to the two countries just last year. The trip is funded by the Hawthorne Foundation. That's a Missouri nonprofit organization. A federal audit report sharply criticizes Oklahoma officials for a lack of transparency, oversight, and accountability in the use of coronavirus relief funds that were intended for education. The state, which received nearly $40 million in pandemic funds, has already returned more than $919,000 that was unspent from the program. The document calls for the state to audit another $5.4 million for possible refund of misspent funds and develop better management and internal controls of the spending. State Senator Bill White and other Missouri lawmakers visited the Economic Security Corporation in Joplin to discuss what services are available. There's been an increase in the number of phone calls and emails from people in the community asking for assistance. Senator White appreciates economic security for serving the community and is exploring options to improve its programs.
Problems where we then have to invoke the senator as the bad guy to come in and do stuff. So that isn't the case with economic security. They're one of our main resources for helping people that have ran into some financial difficulties. They're one of the first places we turn to.
Economic Security is trying to improve its utilities and housing assistance program with the help of the senator. We're going to have more on that for you tonight at 10. Coming up, Jasper County's first courthouse is getting a new breath of life. We're going to tell you how. Plus, what the Miami Public Library is doing to assist local veterans. Inflation is affecting more than just gas and grocery prices. KOAM's Bella Line explains how inflation is taking a bite out of the budgets of local humane societies.
The Joplin and Southeast Kansas Humane Societies have worked tirelessly to combat the shelter overflow issue by hosting public events, utilizing foster care programs, and even waiving adoption fees. The two shelters have both seen firsthand the effects of overcapacity intake, but have different opinions on why this year's intake numbers are high.
We've received a lot of surrendered dogs, whether that's people unfortunately dumping them at the gates, or we also just have a really long intake list of people not being able to take care of them anymore, or their situation has changed due to COVID and, like you said, going back to work. So we've had a lot of people wanting us to intake recently.
We're always at capacity during the summer months. It's not a new thing. So even with the economy the way it is, we are seeing an influx in fees and costs that we're having to pay out and things like that. But the number of animals coming in is no different this year than years past.
Both humane societies have reported an increase in calls from locals needing supplies such as food and litter boxes for their pets. The shelters have been fortunate enough to be able to provide that for the community members in need. Reporting in Joplin, I'm Bella Line, KOAM News.
You can find information on the Humane Society's upcoming events or adoptions at KOAMnewsnow.com. A historic community in Jasper County is getting new life. Red Oak 2 is an art installation by artist Lowell Davis, replicating the historic original Red Oak. Well, now Red Oak 2 is getting a new addition to its collection of buildings. Officials are bringing in a courthouse resembling the very first Jasper County courthouse. It's a log building. The crew hopes to begin work next week, weather permitting. One of the builders, Danny Pippin, is excited to start the building process.
I built a lot of log houses, but this one here, all the log houses I built are new log houses. This one here is the first old log house that I actually will have moved and put back together.
The crew plans to have the cabin rebuilt after the Red Oak 2 Festival in September. The Miami, Oklahoma Public Library has announced it's launching 3 online services. They're called Brain Fuse Job Now, Brain Fuse Vet Now, and Brain Fuse Help Now. Programs provide job search related items such as resumes and give online tutoring. They also provide assistance to area veterans.
If they need help transitioning to civilian life, it has some job resources, resume building, things like that. So it's just an extra avenue so that if they maybe don't have a way to get somewhere to get help, they can get online and get live help.
Programs are available now to use anytime and even offer a 24/7 help center for math and science assignments. A little bit later, we look at the Joplin Outlaws chase for the South Division title in sports.
Plus, the heat sticks around, but what about some rain chances? We're going to look at that coming up. Well, of course, another hot and a little humid day for us at times, but the humidity definitely could be a lot worse. What we really need is rain. We got all that rain in April and May, so we're still actually above average for the year, but we're in a severe drought. The reason is we didn't spread out that rain, so we haven't had any rain really of much over the past 6 or 7 weeks, only a ½ an inch for the entire month of July. Here's our Lander Chevrolet tower cam. We are on the southeast side of the city, of course, I-44 eastbound and then westbound, but you can see pretty much clear skies as we haven't had a lot of action here. We've had some thunderstorms back across parts of Oklahoma. Heat advisory will expire at 8 p.m. and then, of course, reissuing once again for us during the daytime hours tomorrow. But it's still hot. 101 in Carthage, Pittsburgh at 101, 101 in Parsons, Independence 102. A little bit of cloud cover, southern county, so you're a very cool, crisp 96, 97 degrees. But here's the good news, the humidity. This has been a dry heat over the past week or so. Dew points mainly upper 50s to near 60. I know it's hot, I know it's 102, but on our dew point tracker, that kind of puts us in the better range. You don't want to get up in that muggy or soupy range, which we did see a little bit earlier this summer. Clear skies, 101, winds are calm, feels like 98, so that's good. Due to our humidity, it's at 19%, which is bone dry. We're going to drop back through the 90s, 80s, eventually mid-70s a little bit later on tonight. So most of us, not much going on, but you can see a few hours ago, had a few little showers that popped up in northeastern parts of Oklahoma, and still a couple showers. Bonita, we can track a little farther east. Here's Grand Lake, and then heading south toward Jay, Oklahoma, and these extend into Benton County, so of course Bentonville, Springdale, Rogers, and then more out across central Kansas. Big storms once you get down into eastern Oklahoma near Fort Smith. We need some of this rain. We just can't get any of it in here, and our chances aren't that great as we go through the next few days. All right, let's go through the overnight hours. We're going to stop at the morning, mid-70s. Watch this quick warm up again. By noon, mid-90s. By the afternoon, right around 100 to 101 degrees. Now, I do think there's going to be some spotty, little isolated thunderstorms. Hopefully, we'll get underneath one of those as we need the rain. But hot, at least the humidity is still not that bad. Tomorrow night, we're going to drop back into the mid-70s once again, and then as we head into Saturday, pretty much carbon copy, high temps, right around 100 to about 102 degrees. Heat indices tomorrow, pretty much matching our temperatures, right around 100 to about 102. The heat sticks around for the weekend, but the good news is we're going to get a cold front in here by about the middle of next week. What that's going to do for us is give us some rain chances and maybe a little bit of relief. 101 tomorrow, 102 Saturday. Sunday and Monday look really extreme. 106, 106, 104. But look at that 89 on Thursday, which is great. And we could get into the 80s and 90s by next weekend, which would feel way better.
And we joke about how our lawns need the rain, but really the farmers and the ranchers, they desperately need it. It is a dire time for them. Thanks, Doug. Hey, don't forget, you can be the first to know about the day's weather with the KOAM Skywatch weather app. Get severe weather updates sent straight to your phone. It doesn't cost anything. You'll find it in the Apple App Store, Google Play Store. Again, KOAM Skywatch weather app. Still ahead, the Outlaws continue their hunt for the South Division title, and Cardinals slugger Albert Pujols gets recognized for his efforts off the field. Danny Terzer has that story next.
The Joplin Outlaws have secured a spot in the 2022 playoffs, but the work is far from over. The Outlaws are hunting down the program's first ever South Division title. They're currently leading the division with 3 games remaining. Joplin has momentum too. They are riding a 9-game winning streak, tied for longest in Outlaws history. The players are dialed in and excited for a chance to make some history.
These guys want it just as bad as I do. And I mean, the first thing that I saw this morning when I woke up was a text message from my team saying, let's go get this one. You know, Coach Finelli said it best this past year is you feel like you're doing the right thing when you're not involved as much and the guys take care of it by themselves. That's how you know you have a good culture. That's how you know you have good communication between the team and the team's holding each other accountable when you're just in the background enjoying the show.
Joplin puts their win streak on the line tonight on the road facing Jefferson City. The season series with the Renegades is tied, so big one tonight. First pitch is at 7 p.m. and we'll have the latest right here at 10. ESPN's annual award show, the ESPYs, celebrates the top moments and players in the world of sports. This year's event was held last night in Los Angeles. Cardinals slugger Albert Pujols received the Muhammad Ali Sports Humanitarian Award. The award is given to an athlete whose, quote, continuous demonstrated leadership has created a measured positive impact on their community. Pujols' foundation focuses on 2 different causes. It supplies aid to communities in the Dominican Republic, as well as supports those living with Down syndrome. A few other local teams and players won awards. The Chiefs and Bills overtime thriller in the AFC divisional round won Best Game, and Oklahoma softball standout Jocelyn Allo won Best Female College Athlete. That's it for sports. We're back right after this.
Take time now to honor a local veteran. George Cooper served in the U.S. Army in 1952 and 53. His hometown, Columbus, Kansas. And we are proud to salute Sergeant George Cooper, a 4-state hero. Again, a press conference is scheduled for tomorrow at 2 p.m. The Joplin Chief of Police, Chief Sloan Rowland, is releasing a compilation of videos from the day that 2 police officers were shot and killed. KOAM is going to have a crew there, and we're going to live stream that press conference. You can watch it at 2 p.m. tomorrow on the KOAM News Now app, website, or the KOAM Plus app. That app is available free of charge in the Apple App Store, Google Play Store. Search for KOAM News app. Here's a look at what's coming up on KOAM News at 9 on Fox 14. We're going to hear from the owner of the Red Oak Courthouse is being rebuilt at Red Oak 2, a log house. Plus, we're going to check out a stage production written and performed by local kids and how a company is looking to take airline travel supersonic. Those stories, a lot more, of course. It's coming up on KOAM News at 9 on Fox 14. All right, step back from the healthy food today. Grab some chips and chocolate and maybe some cake because this is National Junk Food Day. I know for some of us, every day is junk food day, but listen, these foods, they're typically high in fat, sugar, salt, calories, of course. They became a staple of the American life after World War II when the popularity of prepackaged foods grew, though the term junk food wasn't coined until the 1970s. While our favorite junk foods probably shouldn't be eaten every day, they are definitely allowed on National Junk Food Day. So Doug Headon, I understand tonight we're doing pizza?
Yeah, that's kind of junky.
Yeah, we have cookies in the hallway.
We do.
We are doing our part to celebrate National Junk Food Day.
What we need is a little bit of rain, and we have a slight chance for a few isolated ones tomorrow. High temp, 101.
See you at 10. Let's make it a great evening.
Salon service